Peace and love, family. This is General Powah, aka Pow Shadowz of the House of Hipstep. Yo, basically today I want to touch on the definition of hipstep and really put it out there as to how hipstep is defined as outlined by the founder, Grandmaster T.C. Izlam. May he rest in paradise. Salute. And salute to all the dead generals, grandmasters, leaders, and soldiers. Hipstep is like hip hop is a genre, first and foremost. But no, actually, first and foremost, hipstep is a way of life. Then hipstep is a genre of music, which I'll play a sample of it. But make it let's make it real clear, and let's leave no room for error. You cannot hipstep without hip hop. You cannot hipstep without hip hop. In order to hipstep, you have to master hip hop, or at least be in tune with hip hop. Why? Because as Grandmaster T.C. Izlam outlined, may he rest in paradise, he was murdered in June. So, you know, we lifting him up and commemorating him in this video. That's the hipstep way, culture. But he defined hipstep as hip hop influenced production stimulating the earth people. Hip hop influenced production stimulating the earth people. Therefore, you cannot hipstep without hip hop. So, I have some people who, who say, a good friend of mine, I heard him say that hipstep is a distraction. It's not. It's not a distraction, because it's a way of life. First and foremost, it's a mentality. Let me describe the mentality. Last night, my car got towed. My truck got towed. Facts. So right now I don't have my truck, but I'm gonna get my truck back. It's Sunday. I can't do nothing about it. Hipstep is knowing that I'm gonna get my truck back because I'm doing something about it proactively. Be that get my funds together, be that get a game plan or a strategy, whatever the situation would be. Which my strategy is I'm just going to get my truck back tomorrow. But the point, I'm just going to continue to hipstep. Today, I'm making a hipstep video instead of sitting around being depressed because my truck got towed last night, which is something I couldn't do anything about because the sign wasn't even posted. Do you see what I'm saying? There was nothing I could do about that. Even if a sign was posted and my truck still got towed and it was something that I could have done, it was an honest mistake, because I'm new to this area. But the point is, so I have to pay for that mistake. But the point is, I learned a lesson. Hip stepping is learning a lesson and moving forward and making a hip step video or doing whatever business and making moves you have to do. That is the mentality of hip stepping. Hip stepping over the BS, moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to whom or what situation. And one thing that Grandmaster T.C. Izlam used to always say to me, more times than I can remember him saying, more times than not, I can remember him saying, well, first of all, I can remember him calling me General Pow. He always addressed me by rank, General Pow, because he's the one who made me a general, as he was made a grandmaster by the pioneers of hip hop. Had a ceremony, which was posted on his Facebook page, and he was very proud of that. So when I saw that happening, I wasn't a general yet. Well, then a year or so later, he made me a general as him being a grandmaster. So when that's why I take my title so seriously, because he took his title so seriously. He was inducted by the pioneers of hip hop, and then he inducted me. So when I say pioneers of hip hop, I mean people like Red Alert, Cool Herc, and people like that. Zulu Nation pioneers. But I do remember him saying General Pow a lot, calling me that, making sure, because he took it seriously. And I addressed him as GM. We all did, all of the people in Hipstep. But I also can remember him saying, yo, General Pow, you just gotta hip step over that bullshit. You know? We just keep hip stepping, baby. Keep hip stepping, baby. So it's a mentality. We're about our bread. We're about our business. We're about our productivity, our community development and building. We're about our love, peace, unity, and respect, having fun. And we're about our knowledge. You know, we maintain the 5 principles. We maintain the 5 spiritual principles that the Zulu Nation outlined, because the Hipstep came from the Universal Zulu Nation. Peace and love to the Universal Zulu Nation and all of the people. Regardless to what the controversies that the Zulu Nation has gone through in the past year, there are many people within that organization who are our family, and we love them. They're all our family. Sometimes your family members do things that you don't agree with. Sometimes your family member do things that you can't rock with them on. And you just like, I can't rock with you. And I can't rock with you, like hanging out with you and kicking it with you and rock with you like that. Some certain family members do things like that, but that doesn't mean that they're not your family, or that you don't love them, or that you don't understand or care. It's just that you can't rock with them. So that's all. It's not, and we love our Zulu fam. Those who remain in the Zulu Nation, certain of us chose not to. That's all. And we chose to hip step forward over the controversy and make moves. And continue to make moves and continue to build the principles of love, peace, unity, having fun, and knowledge, and the 5 physical principles of DJing, MCing, graffiti art, b-boying, b-girling, and production, beat making, producing. So, but we were the Hipstep Zulus. We're just now we're House of Hipstep. There's no love lost to the family. Shouts out to all my Zulu fam that's still in the struggle. And those who aren't on the up and up, the Great Spirit will deal with them. Enough said. Hip stepping forward. The genre of hip step, I want to give you all a sample. This is what, to me, hip step sounds like. I was doing hip step and didn't realize it back in 2000, 2010. I'm sorry, 2001. I was hip stepping because I was MCing over drum and bass and jungle. First time I heard drum and bass, I hated it. I hated it because my man was playing it and I was in a good zone. I was feeling real nice. And I was sitting back on the back of kick back on the bed with the tribe. It's like people brought out everywhere and we was hanging out. This is in Nashville, Tennessee, Nastyville. And my man put on the drum and bass and I hated it. And I was like, yo, son, you're killing my vibe. What are you doing, my man? Shouts out to my man, DJ Abacus. It was like a trick. I felt like he was pulling a trick. I felt like this is what I mean by it was a trick, because it was like they pulled me into the crew and they played hip hop the whole time for like a week straight. And then out of the blue, one day we're all chilling, hanging out at Corey and Jamie's house, or Abacus and Gumby. And we was on the east side. This before East Nashville was East Nasty, and before it was hipstered out. This when it was the hood. But when we was over there, and he put on his drum and bass record. I think it was Ronnie Size or something like that, and I hated it. And I was like, I couldn't catch I couldn't catch that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I was like, where's the, I'm in hip hop. I'm in the, I'm in that realm. So this, I'm like, what the hell is this shit, man? Turn it off. And he's like, what, pal? You don't like this? He's like, you don't like this? It's like, hold on, man, I got you. So then he threw on some Wu-Tang acapella, and shout out to Wu-Tang. He threw on a Wu-Tang record, and that did it for me. He mixed, it was a Wu-Tang acapella, and he mixed it with the Running Size. And I think I heard the RZA spitting first. I can't remember what it was, Bring the Ruckus or something, acapella. But man, when he put that Wu-Tang acapella with that Wu-Tang going on this record acapella and that other going on this record, yo, when he did that, hold on one sec. Yeah, pardon self. Had to pause, take a pause for the cause. But when he threw that acapella on the one record, the Wu-Tang acapella with the Running Size on this record, I caught the cadence, so I was able to spit to it. So, and I've loved it ever since. This was the year 2000. It was like right after the new millennium, which I think is pretty cool for whatever reason. Check this out. This is it. So as I strive to create hipstep as a genre, so I explain the mentality. Now let's talk about and give an example of hipstep as a genre of music and see what that sounds like. This is an original track that I produced. To me, it's to me, I've been cultivating the sound of hipstep, and in my opinion, this is it. When I think of hipstep.
See, man, I ain't tripping off nothing.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is Fly Hipstep International. Yeah, boy. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, look, I seen your brother out there on the block the other night. It's 4:30 a.m. on a Sunday. Should have been getting ready for school. What? You're captivated by the music we make because it's magical. How expanding the brand beyond the avenue of Africa. Actual facts, I'm boom bapping. Channel, GCIZ, Hannah, BIZ. No standing like a mannequin. Keep calm now, no panicking. I'm harder than granite is the planet. Don't understand the kid. We just wanna handle biz and stay lit like a candle is in this matrix. I'ma ask some shit. Big crib with the chandeliers. We grandmasters and generals taking the masses to the pinnacle. Move assets like centerfolds. These bastards are pitiful. We pay respect to the late and dead and don't live by occasional text. Heaven on earth status. White, we're laid on deck. Beautiful women in my face. They like how I articulate. Love the way I navigate to make this spoken fabric. Calculate before we demonstrate. We percolate when we reciprocate. You circulate when we ventilate. And she ovulate when we penetrate. Make moves without U-Haul. See, that's what we do, y'all. Either U-Haul or play ball. If not, we like to screw y'all. Our science is out of world. Our alliances with other worlds. We love women, respect mothers, and we can't live without you, girl.
I have to stop because, it's not done yet. That's a rough draft. And it's a lot of suckers that like to bite. But yo, I will tell you like ODB said, you bite my style, I bite you. For crying out loud, Wu-Tang forever. Look, check it out. I hope y'all enjoyed that sample. It's a new track. It's a rough draft, but I wanted to give you an example of hipstep. To me, it's very important to define the genre. And then, my whole thing is I'm just striving to keep maintain the legacy of my hipstep brother, Grandmaster TC Izlam, and my hipstep family. Shouts out to KD. Shouts out to Dynamax. Shout out to Aki Fella B in Australia. Shout out to all of my hip steppers up there in South Bronx, New York City. Shouts out to my man Powah. Shouts out to Anita Magenta, DJ Anita Magenta. Just some of my closest hipstep fam, and then many more, many others. All right, but just to name a few. But shout out to all of y'all because we're just striving to maintain the legacy that Grandmaster TC Izlam. And I say his name out like that not because I'm crazy or I'm just obsessed or anything. It's because out of respect. He earned that title, and it's like when you say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or when you say the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, or when you say your honor to a court person, or when you say Dr. So-and-so. So, Grandmaster TC Izlam, rest in paradise. We're going to keep hip stepping, maintaining the legacy of the Hipstep to the best of our ability, and spreading it, and making sure there's no twist to it. Make sure that people don't get it twisted, because I want people to know and understand it as a mentality, a way of life, positive. It's all about upliftment of the youth, the community. It's like, why would you diss that? It's hip hop influenced production, stimulating the earth people. So I wanted to end on this with a question. What is the meaning of hip hop? What does hip hop mean? What is the definition of hip hop? All right. As I see it, hip hop is hip, meaning to be hip or current. Like, you hip up, are you hip? Are you in tune? And hop is a physical action. It's like a jump, to be specific. So it's like to be hip in your hop, to be hip when you move, when you jump. It's not just a jump, it's an emphatic. A jump is not just a move. A jump takes a lot of energy. It's a real, it's a definite move. So to me, hip hop is like being hip and making definite moves, and being hip, being in tune, and making moves, and being one who moves, either dances first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Dance, grooving. Everybody don't break dance, but you grooving. That's hopping. That's the hop. When you nod your head, that's the hop. When you break dance and be girl, that's the hop. But the hop is also when you just make moves in society and get yours. All right? So, what is hip hop to you? That's what it is to me. Hopefully, there's been some enlightenment to Hipstep, a little bit more on what this is, and hopefully I can build more on it, and I plan on it in the future. But hopefully this was enlightening, and y'all learned something from it, at least more about Hipstep. All right, this is General Powah. Start saying that once again. My homegirl's like, I don't like when you call yourself Pow. I like Power. Like, all right, Power short for Power. But hope y'all enjoyed this. Salute. Much love, man. Keep hip stepping over the BS. That's the Hipstep way. All right, how's Hipstep? I'm out. Hipstep massive. What's the guan? Yeah.